My wife and I were driving north on 995 to visit my dad when we stopped at a Wawa gas station. And while pumping gas, I struck up a conversation with an employee, a man changing out the trash bags near the gas pumps. And it was the day after Thanksgiving, so I simply wished him a happy Thanksgiving weekend and commented on how crowded the gas station was. As we talked, he shared a detail that lodged itself in my mind. He just started working there and he had never even been to a Wawa before. He took the job after Florida's most recent hurricane wrecked the home that he and his family were about to move into. He wasn't complaining, he wasn't asking for anything, he was just making conversation. But that small nugget of information stood out to me. After I finished pumping gas, I said goodbye and I drove to the other side of the parking lot to wait for my wife, who had gone inside to purchase something. But I couldn't shake the conversation. His words echoed in my mind, not for what he said, but for what he didn't. That little voice inside, the one God gives us, urged me to continue the conversation. So I get out of the car, I walk back over to him, and I used a casual question about nearby restaurants to restart the conversation. As we spoke, he opened up. He told me about his wife and their 4 children, including twin infants. They were living in a nearby hotel for $50 a night, thanks to a connection that his wife had with the manager. And despite the challenges, he shared his story with humility, not seeking sympathy, definitely not asking for anything. In fact, he had 2 jobs. As we spoke, I understood why God had placed him in my path. A few days earlier, I had received a $100 gift card for Chili's and Cracker Barrel, both within walking distance of the Wawa and the hotel right across the street. I told him this. I gave him the gift card thinking he could use it for dinner with his family. For a second, he froze. He looked at me with surprise and then he lunged forward with the biggest smile and he gave me a huge hug. His gratitude was so obvious. He held the hug. He said thank you repeatedly. And in that moment, I felt something rare, the deep, abiding peace that comes from knowing you've stepped into a purpose greater than yourself. As I walked back to my car, I couldn't help but reflect. This man wasn't asking for help. He was working hard and doing his best, carrying a burden most would never notice. But by slowing down and listening, not just to his words, but to his heart, I heard the need beneath the surface. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ, Galatians 6:2. That day I gave a small gift, but I left feeling deeply blessed. Everything we have is his, and when we pause to listen and to act, we open ourselves to the incredible purpose he has for us, to love and care for one another. It was a pleasure meeting you, Bruce. I'm praying for your family, and I wish you the best now and always. God bless.